Hello Hilltop Stars! Today you will be learning with the sub how to create a crumpled stained glass picture. This is the only time you're ever going to hear me say take your paper and crumple it up. Before you do that, you're going to write your name on the back. It's a lot easier to do before you crumple your paper. I'm being very careful when I crumple not to rip my paper up. I'm squeezing it into a tight ball so I get creases I will see very, very well. And when I open it back up, I'm doing it very gently and smoothing the paper out so it'll be easier to draw and color on. Taking thin tip Sharpies, you're going to trace along the creases of your crumpled paper. Take your time. This won't be a quick step. This will take you a good chunk of the class to do. Make sure while you're tracing those creases that you're creating shapes, not just lines. I fast forward a lot during this video because this takes a long time to do. You can see in this close-up I am following lines, but as I follow the folded lines, I'm making sure that they're touching another line. That way I have shapes to color in. If you can't color it in, this project isn't really going to work. You can see even though I have fast-forwarded this part extremely fast, it is still taking a lot of time for my paper to get covered with Sharpie. Nobody should be telling the substitute they're done within the first 10 minutes of tracing. The more details you add to it, the more creases you trace, the more interesting it will look. When you've traced a good amount of your crinkles, I still have some that I didn't get, but looking at my paper, I have a good amount of lines to color in, so I think I'm stopping here. You can use a mixture of colored pencils and skinny markers to fill your shapes in. Find a shape that you traced and add color to it. It's as simple as that. You should take each shape and use a different color for it. Don't use 2 or 3 with one color or scribble all over your paper. Now that doesn't mean if you have, let's say you have purple, you could maybe space out and do purple shapes in a few places before switching colors. Just make sure those places aren't next to each other. Take your time when you are coloring, and if you have a dry marker, please find a new color. Don't use the dry markers. If you know where the dry box is, which is the front of the room, right next to where the Sharpies are, you can put a dry marker in the dry box. Do not ever throw supplies away. The cool thing about this project is that as you space your colors out and fill things in, no matter how much you have colored, it'll still look kind of interesting. So see how much you can color in before the class period is over, and you can always build on it as you go. You might have noticed I stuck with 3 colors. I don't want to add every color because I like having a controlled color palette, meaning I'm using only a few colors. I'm not using all the colors that are available to me. So I liked this turquoise, purple, and yellow. I'm going to try and stick with these 3 colors, and I'm going to make them kind of closer and closer to each other as I go. I'll make sure if I add another color, I want to really think about which one will add to my color scheme. Maybe a different blue. You can see I've added a 4th color into my picture.
a different kind of green. Figured I'll have two marker colors, the purple and the green, and then I have a turquoise and a yellow colored pencil. I'm sticking with 4 colors, and that is called a controlled color palette. That means I didn't use every color I have. I only chose a few that I thought looked nice together. And now I'm filling in a lot of spaces with those 4 colors. For this project, you may leave some of the crinkles white, but do not leave too many of them white. See how much you can get done in your class. There should be nobody telling the substitute, "I'm finished," before class is over, because this has taken me an incredibly long time to do. This is probably a project that you will start in class and then you can get to take home and finish at another time.